Fit Pros, it's the DTF podcast, Down to Fitness, where we turn personal trainers into fitness professionals. We're your host, Dayton McPherson, Kyle Radune. Today's episode, we are talking about shit trainers here in their sessions from their clients, getting super fired up about this one. Kyle and I were going to do another episode and film, but I was like, hey, let's do this one. I'm having a good day. It's beautiful out. This is going to start me off really, really well for this long weekend that we've got coming up. So what's going on, my friend? How are you?
Nothing much, man. Dayton loves talking shit, and, well, let's be honest. I love talking shit also. So let's be real. Shit trainers here. I think this is definitely a fun break from all the sales and lead generation and all the serious talks we've been having lately. So this one's just a change of pace for us. Hope you kind of enjoy some of the things that you'll hear.
And I'm sure you've heard some of them too.
I was going to say, let's be honest. Clients, we're all the same. And also, if you are a client and you hear some stories and I poke fun at you, you know it's for real.
Out of love.
It's out of love. But let's be honest. As a coach and trainer myself, do you think I always want to work out, or I always look forward to doing things, or I'm always motivated? Of course not.
No.
So some of the shit that I'll say to myself, like, I'm not going to do that last set, or I'm going to skip this, or I'm staying in bed today. Like, I'm guilty of some of the things that we're going to talk about today as well. So I think it is more fun. It's not completely talking shit, but I think there will be moments where we probably get a little more heated.
Yeah. And, coaches out here, when you hear us talk about some of these things, I think that going off with a mindset of this is more than just a bitch fest, it's also for you to think of intelligent ways to have these conversations with people too, when they do say some of these things, and how to intellectually give them information that maybe will change their mindset or understand you as a professional with some of these topics that we're going to talk about. So let's kick it off. I just got back from vacation, actually, so that was really fun. And guess what? I didn't work out the entire time. All I did was drink wine in France and drink beer in London, and it was awesome not working out. And when I got back, what do you think people said to me, Kyle?
Did you work out?
Yeah, exactly. And what do you think my answer was?
Hell no.
Hell no. And their response is, well, you walked a lot. Let me tell you something. That's not working out. Your body is supposed to walk and move. One of the things that drives me crazy with some of my clients is they'll say, well, I walked 10,000 steps. That's not exercise. So let's get that out of the way right now. That's activity. You should be active every day. Be active. Exercise and activity is different. I also hear from clients too. Oh, well, I gardened all weekend. Good for you. That's not exercising. Exercise is different.
So hold on now. I'm going to challenge you on that one. So it's exercise. It's not a workout. Now, in a sedentary world, there was a point in time where humans had to garden. They had to take care of themselves. They had to walk to get to the store. And that was all built into their daily activity.
But they also weren't eating French fries either.
Well, so this, I'm going to set this up for you. So ultimately, no, they weren't eating French fries. But they were more active and they were eating French fries. Nowadays, so many things are done for us that if you do incorporate 10,000 steps a day, you'll be healthier. You'll definitely have a longevity. We know that daily activities, your NEAT, if we ever want to get into that kind of conversation, is actually the number one indicator of being overall healthy. Now, when we get in the fitness world, our clients and trainers alike, we don't really define healthy the same way. So kind of what you were defining there was a fitness enthusiast client that likes to work out 3 times a week, and they're used to, now their norm is 3 times a week, and they always walk. So that's definitely the differentiator there, just to clarify, because if you are 100 pounds overweight and you haven't been off the couch in 3 months and you went on vacation and quote unquote, all you did is walk, I'm going to give you a high five. That's not what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
Right. But you lift 6 days a week.
Yes.
You went on vacation, you come back and go, oh, but you walked. Like, that's what we're talking about here. All right.
And since coming back from vacation, I did like the worst workouts for the last 7 days, and I'm so sore. Like, I did the easiest stuff, and it's amazing how quickly it goes away, but it comes back just as fast too. Like my traps are killing me. I jumped rope yesterday. My calves hurt, my ankles hurt. So you got to make sure that if you are, like Kyle said, a lifter and an avid exerciser, that you are understanding that if Dayton goes away on vacation and you're one of my clients, you still have to exercise. It's not a vacation for you too. You go on vacation when I'm at the gym, so you don't get another vacation when I'm not there.
Yeah, and that's the same. That's the same people, like when they come back to, like, they're gonna complain about how you weren't there for them so that they could work out. And it's like, did you forget that I'm a human? Like, you hate your boss and you take vacations every chance you get.
Yeah.
And I'm just supposed to love my job so much that I love it more than my personal life?
Right. Yeah.
Come on,
thank
man.
you. I'm going on vacation.
Hell yeah.
Bye.
See ya. Actually, screw this episode. I'm out. I'm taking the day off.
See you, Kyle. Bye, buddy. So I want to talk about like diets and weight loss stuff and like some terms that people use that also drive me crazy. The term tone is some stupid made up thing that they came up with the 80s to talk about fat loss and muscle gain. I hear it all the time, especially with women, not to be sexist or anything. I hear it a lot with women talking about it because, when Jane Fonda came out and toning and everything like that, like the word tone means nothing. You're not a printer. So make sure that you educate your clients that toning just means you are losing weight, fat, and gaining muscle mass. So you look cut or tone or trim, slender, whatever that it might be.
Those words are really funny because now that came back out of the 70s and 80s, like the bodybuilder era, where like Arnold was just like lifting weights and getting yoked. Like it was just like, oh, lift weights, and then it scared off women specifically, and really, without getting too much into like the history there, which I think is really interesting, is that we quickly learned in the 80s that gyms couldn't make any money because only men were going, and about 30% of men were going, and about 0% of women were going. So how do you go ahead and generate more revenue and double your sales? Well, you get both genders in and you bring in the ladies. How do you bring in the ladies? You make it less scary. You get rid of the rusty iron, you get rid of the loud noises, and you create rubber-coated pink dumbbells. And this was the birth of aerobics. So
step classes.
Yep. And instead of getting big and strong, it was small and tone. Those are the same words. They mean the same thing. And it's on us to educate our clients, because if we really want to get out of this whole like women get bulky or women should lift weights or whatever. And granted, 2023, thank you. Shout out to CrossFit. 20 years ago, they made squats and deadlifts and women in strength training way more popular, because prior to CrossFit, there's like dust on the squat racks. Everyone was doing bicep curls, and the ladies didn't step foot in the weight room. You go into a weight room today, it's pretty 50-50. Like,
I would say it's more women now. I think more women exercise than men do, like just exercise in general, but I think 50-50 in a weight room for sure.
Yeah. Oh no, it's the strong women movement has been great. So
hell yeah. So you said a term there that I want to hit on. You said bulky. That's another one. Like, I hear it all the time in consults where it's like, oh, I don't want to get too bulky. Well, let me let you in on a little secret. I have been working out for 15 years trying to get bulky, and I'm still not there. So you doing it one time a week for a half an hour is not going to get you bulky. Sorry about it. Like, you're not going to get bulky, especially if you're not going to change your diet and you're just going to come in every now and again. Like, bulky is nothing that anybody has to worry about. And I think that has a lot to do with people's visual understanding of what like fitness influencers look like, especially with Instagram. You look on a magazine of Muscle and Fitness, all of those people, that's all they do. Okay. If you look at magazines and pictures, all those people are photoshopped. Sorry, they are. And, steroids are huge right now. Lots of people are using steroids. And
Liver King?
Yeah, like that dude talked about for years and years that he was, what do they call it? Raw?
Yeah, natty.
He's natty. He's natty. So for those of you that don't know, natty means natural. You don't take any sort of steroids, any sort of growth hormones, nothing like that. It came out that he was, and he lied to all these people. All these people are not all. Some people are lying to you as well, claiming that they're natural, and that's why they look like that. Yeah,
if they look like a bodybuilder, they're doing some form of steroids.
So again, I'm okay with someone that wants to do steroids. If you want to do it, cool. Like, it's your body, it's your choice. You do whatever you want to do as long as you're doing it like prescribed and safely. Like, that's what I hope. I hate when I see all these bodybuilders that end up dying when they're 33, but don't lie to people that you're natural. Like, come on, like, girls and guys, like, what, who gives a crap? Like, if
Mhm.
you're doing steroids, just be honest with people, because then you get into this like whole thing where it's like, people that don't exercise, they see that and they're like, oh, I don't want to look like that. You're never going to look like
You're
that. Because
never gonna look like that.
if they came out and they said, oh, it's because I'm on steroids, okay, you're not on steroids. They exercise 2 hours a day, 6 times a week, so you won't look like that. So,
Uh,
flipping that script for people is really hard, because as a society, I think we're very visual. So,
yep.
you know,
You
I
know,
don't know.
and this one's not as popular as like the bulky one, but a lot of people associate like athletes as like the bodies they like aspire to be like. So you mentioned like bodybuilders and steroids. The other big popular one that I hear sometimes is like people look at a sport and say like they strength train. I don't want to look like them. Well, I'm sorry. Swimming didn't make Michael Phelps have 6 foot long arms. He was the body that
Yeah,
was built for swimming. So he
correct.
strength trained and became the best swimmer. You didn't get 6'9" playing basketball.
Mm,
The people that were 6'9" were attracted to basketball. So what I'm basically saying here is the person on stage that's a 300-pound Eddie Hall monster, he found this sport because he was
because he was a
naturally
monster.
genetically predisposed to being a king monster.
Right.
So you, with your average ass jeans, okay, you can work twice as hard as Eddie Hall or
And
Matt
never.
Frazier and Rich Froning, and you ain't ever gonna look like them. So
Nope.
sorry. So let's just take it back, and you're going to be the best version of yourself, and you're going to keep trying to be better than you were yesterday, and it's going to develop the physique that you really wanted, but without like getting attached to all this like ridiculous bullshit around your physique.
Yeah, stop comparing yourself to everybody else. And I think that is something that we need to bring up to our clients. Like, I had someone a long time ago, I was doing an exercise, and then right next to her was somebody else. She goes, well, she's doing more than me, or she's doing it better than me. I was like, why the hell do you care? Like, when I go to CrossFit, shout out Golden Goose. Hey, Kyle, what's up? When I
He
go to
was just
CrossFit,
here in Orlando at semifinals.
I
I talked to
know.
Kyle. Hey, he did a kick ass job. Shout out Kyle if you're listening.
So I was unable to watch, unfortunately, because the time zones just didn't work out. That was when I was on vacation, unfortunately. But when I go to CrossFit, there are some elite athletes. Kyle had 3 people from his gym go to semifinals, which is amazing. Again, shout out to Kyle. He's a great programmer. He's an amazing person. When I go,
We
I
know a lot
know
of
I'm
Kyles,
gonna.
by the way.
I know Kyle Powers, Kyle Radune, and Kyle Boffman. So when I go to CrossFit, I know I'm gonna get my ass kicked. I know, like, there are going to be people that beat me, but I'm not trying to beat them. I'm trying to push myself, but I use them as motivation to see what they're doing. And if I see someone that is ahead of me, I'll push myself more, full well knowing I'm not going to catch them. But that environment is what makes me work hard, not for them, for me, because I see it and I'm like, they're kicking my ass. I'm going to try to go a little bit faster, even if I'm not going to beat them. That's fine. I'm never making it to semifinals. I'm drinking a beer right now, for God's sakes.
I, I was gonna hope that maybe the listeners would have thought that was orange juice, and we were just
Nah,
gonna.
it's a beer, everybody. Fit
Mine's
Pros.
coffee, just
Kyle's
for the
drinking
record.
coffee. Yeah. All right. So we talked about some diet stuff real quick. I do want to touch on 2 other pieces of diet. My favorite thing is when people say I'm on a no carb diet. And then you have to educate them on what a carb is. So most people think a carb is pasta and bread. And when I ask, I was like, okay, so what are you eating, or what are you cutting out of your diet? And they said, oh, pasta and bread. Well, you're still eating carbs. Like, there's still other carbohydrates in your diet. And they're like, oh, I didn't realize that that was a carb and that was a carb. There's carbs in everything. There's fat in everything. And there's protein in everything. For you to cut out carbs is not good for anybody. Like, and I'm not going to dive into nutrition. I have no, like, certifications on that or anything, but just educating people and letting them know that a no carb diet, number one, is not beneficial if you are strength training. And number two, you're probably not on a no carb diet anyways. So just stop.
If the 1% of people that really the no carb diet was created for was people with like medical conditions. So we recently had Kyle Powers on epilepsy, narcolepsy, a no carb diet, a keto diet for him is absolutely going to benefit his overall health. But it's not supposed to be a weight loss plan. The reason why people are so successful on a no carb diet is because they eat less shit. Because 90% of your calories come from carbs because you're crushing cookies and brownies at night. It's not because you had pasta at noon. Like, we have such a twisted view of like what nutrition really looks like. So yeah, the diet stuff gets me because I don't care what diet you follow. The reason a diet works is because you're eating less shit. It's that simple.
Yeah. And the word diet I've never liked, because it makes it sound like you're on this restricted plan where it's like, I eat a balanced diet. I'm not on a diet. And people say, oh, this is my diet. And they're like, oh, why are you dieting? I'm not dieting, because that makes it sound like I'm trying to lose weight. I have something that I follow that works for me. Like, I'll give you an example. I don't eat breakfast and I don't eat lunch. I haven't in the last 3-4 years. I have a protein bar. I have a protein shake after my workout. I know all of you are probably rolling your eyes like, oh, that's not good. Like, how are you working out on an empty stomach? And then I come home and then I eat at night. I do one meal and that's good for me. It works with my schedule. I don't know. I look pretty fit. But like, everybody is different and you have to pick what works for you. So like this whole thing, like, oh, I'm on a diet, it makes no sense to me. You're doing something that works for you and your body.
Yes, totally. And to be fair, I am that person. If I worked out at 3:00 in the afternoon with no breakfast and no lunch, you're not getting anything out of me.
Perfect example.
So it's what works for you. And it's, if you feel like shit during the workout, then you probably should have had food. So,
Absolutely.
Someone like Dayton, you really work really well with an intermittent fasting style of quote unquote diet because, right. So if you're a client and you came to me and that's your diet and you said, I'm trying to lose weight, you'd be like, all right, cool. Let's work within this window and let's do that. But I would never take someone that loves breakfast and then give them an intermittent fasting diet. Right. So if we're talking to the trainers here, shit trainers are here, but this is stuff we'll hear. And this is how trainers should be responding to that, because that's how I use diets. Or someone that says like, I eat a ton of sugar. I get sugar cravings. I love cookies after breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And maybe I will try like a low carb diet because I'm just trying to get them to restrict cookies, not necessarily carbs.
I love how I'm just complaining and then Kyle's like, this is how we flip it around for the fitness professionals. This is great. This is great. I love this. I'm just going to keep complaining and Kyle's going to flip it on how you can talk to your clients.
First couple episodes, we said we were different and this is how it was going to go, but we didn't really explain how it was going to go. You're seeing it live right here.
Yep, live right here. So here's another one that I want to talk about is protein powder. I recommend that all of my clients take protein powder because they're never going to get the appropriate amount of protein. So sometimes I hear, I don't like the taste of it. Well, guess what? I don't like the taste of Brussels sprouts either, but I'm eating them anyways. I don't like the taste of the creatine. Yeah, I eat Brussels sprouts, man. I don't like the taste of the creatine that I have, but guess what? I'm drinking it anyways. You just need to shotgun that stuff, just like a Bud Light at a college party, and move on. Like, you just got to drink it because you're not getting enough. Like,
David's such a bro. I love it.
Yeah.
So yes, 100%. The average person does not. So your clients probably should be taking some kind of protein powder. There's no doubt to that. Commonly, we recommend 0.75 or 0.8 grams per pound of body weight or lean mass. If you're really overweight, I like to go with lean mass, because if you weigh 400 pounds, don't eat 400 grams of protein. Just don't do it. But yeah, so definitely supplementation helps. Now, if you have a weight loss client, I'm going to encourage you to get it through meat, only because if you eat a lot of meat, it makes no room for other foods. So if we are talking about a weight loss client, the shake definitely will get the protein in, but you'll still be hungry after. So
I have a question. You were talking about eating meat, and this is kind of off topic. When you eat your dinner and you have like your vegetable, maybe a starch, maybe your meat, how do you eat it? I always eat my entire meat first and then my vegetables, and then I save my starch for the last. And I maybe don't finish all the starch because like my plate is mounded.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So okay, I love that you asked that question. So actually, the funny thing is studies show people that do that are leaner than people that don't. The reason being is, so here's the thing though, you are incredibly fit, you are lean, you smash people in CrossFit.
Stop.
You're the one drinking a beer and I'm the one drinking a coffee.
True.
Just saying. So right, does that work? Maybe. I do encourage my clients to eat their meat first, because if you eat the potatoes first, you will overeat. If you eat the meat first, You'll be less hungry, and you'll end up leaving something on your plate. If there's something on your plate that's going to be left over for the trash, it's going to be that last little bit of the potatoes, that last little bit of the French fries or whatever, but get through the steak, right? Like that's where, so that's what I recommend to all my clients. There's also now that continuous blood glucose monitors are out and like really popular. If you do have, we know that the spikes and the drops really create binge eating. So we also see a level blood sugar line when you eat the meat first. If you eat potatoes first, you'll spike, then you'll eat the meat, and then you'll drop, and then you'll look for the cookies 2 hours later. So like weight loss hacks, that's kind of what I use for my clients.
Yeah. Don't keep cookies in the house, everybody. No cookies.
If you want cookies, walk to the store and get them. There's your steps, Dayton.
There's your steps, buddy. All right. So another thing that drives me crazy, clients showing up late to their sessions, Kyle.
Almost lost my coffee.
Spit out your coffee. That was hilarious for anybody that is watching the podcast. I thought that it was going to go all over the camera. I saw it coming. Oh God!
All right, so I don't know if you had a story, but right now I just got like, so I'm in a studio, right? A private studio. I only have one parking space, technically two, but one of them is my car. So I actually have to book my clients on 75 minutes because I have to leave a 15-minute window between clients to make sure I can get them in the car, out. I also like that because when I was back to back like 8-10 hours straight in the Globo world, I never had time to pee or have a snack. So that 15 minutes is actually really nice. I like sneak in some beef jerky or like a piece of fruit or something, just clear my head. But anyways, so my timing is very important. If I have a client that comes 20 minutes late, they still need to get the hell out of my driveway on time because it will screw up my next client. So what Dan was starting to lead into there is the thing that we hear a lot is clients always will come 5, 10, 15 minutes late and then just be like, yeah, well, my hours started when we started. No. Our training session started at 9 a.m. and it is now 10 a.m. We are done. Oh, but we didn't get to my abs. You're right. You chose to be in the car for 10 minutes of your session. So you're going to go home and you can do the abs on your own.
Right. Yeah. I've had people even come in and be like, do you have anybody after me if they're late? And be like, no. And they're like, oh, so we can just go 10 minutes later. No, that's not how it works. You pay for my time in a particular block. It's your choice that you showed up late. It wasn't my choice that you came. You're the same day, same time every single week. You decided that you were going to show up late today. I don't go over. You pay for my time too. So why should I go over because you were late? So I like to go back to back, and I know that Kyle can't because of just the situation that he's in. So if you show up 10 minutes late and I go 10 minutes over, then the next person I go 10 minutes over. And I would say probably 50% of my clients show up on time. So now you're looking at me going over by an hour if you just did out the math throughout a day. So now I'm not getting paid for an hour. Yeah, I don't think so.
And it's going to screw over somebody. So now you're going to piss off one of the next clients that you're starting 10 minutes late that showed up, that respected you, showed up on time, and now you're going to disrespect them. That's an awful loop to be in. Now that person that was late on you, you didn't respect yourself. then you upset your client and you lost business. So
Yeah.
nip that
All
shit
right.
in the butt.
So they showed up late and now we're going to train them, right, Kyle? And you're already pissed off of this person. And then we are going to talk to them during their sessions and ask them certain questions when they're doing an exercise. Like, oh, what do you feel when you're doing this? God help me if you say, I don't know. Oh, I didn't feel anything. I was too focused on the exercise. What in the hell are you talking about? You didn't feel a damn thing? Nothing. We were doing an RDL. You didn't feel it in your back. You didn't feel it in your forearms. I don't care if you felt it in your calluses that you had. Like, you felt nothing.
Something.
Nothing. I can feel an RDL with just body weight. So that blows my mind that people aren't conscious about exercise. They just go through the motions. I tell people all the time, exercise is 90% mental. You have to be continuously thinking about what you're doing, what you feel. Give me feedback. And if you can't give me feedback about what you feel, I don't know if you're in pain or you're seeing a benefit to this exercise. God damn it. How can we flip that one around, Kyle? Help me out here, brother.
You notice I stalled on that one. I was like, well, I got nothing for you.
I don't know.
No, I guess that's a communication thing, right? So it's like, how do you get them to feel it differently or better communicate that? I don't know. Punch them in the ass and be like, did you feel that?
Oh, I will use palpitations sometimes with people. I think that that's really helpful. But, when you go through your motions or your exercises with people, let's use RDL like I've been using, you say, okay, we want to push our hips back, weight in the heels. You should feel it here, here, and here. And then after they do their 10 reps, did you feel it here, here, and here? And then they say, I don't know. I'm like, holy God. It's like, I don't even know what to do with that. I'm like, okay, next time we come around, like, let's try to feel it in this position. And I don't know.
No, that could be really frustrating. No, you kind of mentioned something there is what actually bothers me more when I'm training a client is when I spend that time to explain that RDL and the hips back and the heels back and where you're supposed to feel it and all that stuff. And then I hand them the dumbbell or the barbell. And then they go, what am I doing?
Yeah.
Are you fucking kidding me? We don't really curse on this podcast. I'm sorry. What?
Man.
Do I need a clown suit, paint my face, dance? Like, what are you doing? Were you looking at me? Did you hear anything I just said? Or I'm like, hey, we're going to do 10 reps, 10 times.
Yep.
And then you hand it to them and they're like 4 and they like twist their neck and pull their back and go,
oh, no. How many
am I supposed to do? Well, first of all, don't do that with your spine.
Yeah.
2, I told you. 3, just keep going. You have 3 left.
I go so slow in explaining to people. Like, let's take an air squat, for example. Okay, we're going to do an air squat right now. The exercise looks like this. I'll do 3 reps. Make sure you're pushing your hips back, chest is up, knees are out. Like, hit on the 3 most important things that you want this particular person to focus on. We will be doing 10 reps. You ready? Okay, great. What am I doing? How many reps am I supposed to do? Jeez Louise, I am going to break my phone in half right now. Like, you just don't care. Like, that's what that tells me is like, you're not paying attention to me. And I would say that a majority of my training sessions is reteaching movements to people when you should know how to air squat. I have one person, won't use a name. I've been with her for years and years and years. Never can do anything right, ever. I have to recorrect every exercise, even a bodyweight squat. Doesn't understand depth, doesn't understand chest up, way too fast on everything. Like, she's probably done 10,000 TRX rows. They're never right. That's frustrating to me. You're not learning. So I just get to a point where I just let her do things wrong. Sorry for saying that, but like, you're not going to hurt yourself doing a TRX row. So when they look like this and they're going up and down, I'm like, okay, you don't care. So it's hard for me to care.
Yeah, no, definitely. At some point, it gets frustrating.
It sucks. Like, I want to care. I really do. But it just gets super frustrating that you don't take direction and retain it.
Yeah. No,
I don't know.
It's an attention thing. I think, and we can play devil's advocate and be like, why are they not paying attention to you? Why do they not care about what you're saying? Why, and if it's someone on my staff, I might be having those conversations with the trainer, like, why is this happening? But the truth is, and because you can play the devil's advocate and anyone that's listening might be like, oh, well, that's the trainer's fault. Listen, get off your high horse, because the truth is those things happen to you no matter what. I mean, hell, I'll tell this story because it's the client's my mother, but like she has a great deadlift. 9 months now. She's 66, 7, 8. I don't know, higher 60s. I forget. And deadlifts 135 pounds, like pretty smooth, like good form. But still to this day, every time we're going to do a deadlift, we'll get into position and I'm like chest up and she'll like bend her elbows. And I'm like straighten her arms. And then she like drops her butt down. And I'm like, how many times are we going to, I said your butt. Why are you bending your arms? And it's like, I know it's my mother. So I'm like really hard on her.
So you don't, yeah.
Like pick your chest up. And she's like,
come on, Mom.
Like, do you not listen to anything I say? We've been doing this for how long?
I know. It's really hard. It makes the session really long, and it makes it hard to do new things because they can't even do the normal things or the basics correctly. So you can't progress because you can't even remember how to do an air squat.
And those are the hard. Same people. They're going to come and be like, I'm so tired of doing deadlifts. Can we not do deadlifts anymore? I want to do something else.
Nope. Do them right, and then we'll talk.
Yeah, like we graduate from one thing to the next.
Right. You're still taking deadlifting 101, even though you've been training with me for 6 years. You keep failing your midterms and your finals.
They point across the room to the other client doing like all the cool shit. And I'm like, hey, do you know anything about that client? They've been together for 3.5 years. They train 4 times a week. He's never been late, never missed a session. And yeah, now they're doing snatches. You're doing air squats for the 3rd month now because you never come on time. You don't listen to what I ask you to do. And I want to be clear. They pay me. That's fine. It's a different conversation. But like this shit is absolutely our day to day. And you just learn to deal with it. Right. Yep. So while we're talking about complaining about clients that always complain about the results, like as a trainer, you can be the best in the business. You can do every single thing right. You can give them all the homework and all the stretches, and they're still going to come in and they're going to say, my knee hurts. Squats on Friday made my knee hurt. And I go, what'd you do on Saturday? Watch TV? Did you get up?
Nope.
I took a nap, put my feet up. I said, okay, so you worked out on Friday, and then you sat on the couch through Saturday. What'd Sunday look like? Well, we had family over.
I went for a walk.
I watched the NBA finals. I went for a walk.
I went
to go walk, and my knee hurt, so I sat back down.
Yeah.
And then they come in on Monday morning, and they go, Kyle, you broke my knee. What'd you do? Nothing. And I know for sure when I tell all my clients, like after a workout, especially early on, like you're going to be sore. Drink plenty of fluids. Make sure you walk. If you're really sore and you're in pain, you give me a call. Like, nothing. Unfortunately, no matter how much you get through to clients, they're not always going to, 1, listen, 2, do it, and 3, as much as I hate to say it, a lot of clients, at least early on, have a victim mentality. It's not their fault they were fat. It's not their fault their knee hurts. They were screwed with a broken body and a broken metabolism. So they throw money at a problem and they expect you to be the one to fix it. Now you're going to try your damnedest, and you got into this industry because you care so much and you're passionate and you're going to bend over backwards for them. But when they have that victim mentality, there's nothing you can do but just tolerate it. And if you're willing to work with them long term, you can maybe change their mindset out of that. But the victim mentality shit is where I start to draw the line and go like, I'm not a therapist. If you have a good therapist, I recommend getting clients with a therapist because we know fat loss, especially life-changing therapy, actually does way better than personal trainers ever could in the space. So
depression and eating habits are very, very synonymous with one another. So similarly to that, Kyle, I had someone who didn't work with one of my coaches when I was away on vacation. Totally their choice. Didn't want to. That's fine. So I didn't see them for almost 2 weeks. Came in, didn't feel very well. Their back hurt. My question was, so what have you been doing for the last 2 weeks? And they told me everything from taking care of this and going to work and doing that. And I said, no, for yourself. Oh, I don't have time for myself. And I said, well, you need to make time for yourself. It's not an option at this point. Her back was horrible. She felt horrible. Like, I don't understand that. You feel bad. You were feeling good when I was here. Now you feel horrible because all these other things took precedence. You have to take precedence as a person and an exerciser. And I'm sorry, but like that's literally the conversation that I had with this person. Straight up, I was like, you need to make time for yourself. We're going to sign you up for the gym next door. And I did right then and there. And you're going to come in 3 times a week. All that you're going to do is walk on the treadmill for 20 minutes. That's all I want you to do. We're going to start there. And I said, and the next time that I see you, if you haven't been in your 3 times, we're going to have a different conversation because I'm sick of this shit. You coming in all hunched over. Oh, I hurt because you haven't done anything. Do something. Just do something, please. Please, people. Like, pain is not normal. Pain is not normal.
Well, that's another episode.
I know. I'm sorry. All right. Before we wrap this one up, I got one more that I want to talk about. This is more so like during consultations or as a coach, if you raise your prices, your gym raises their prices, whatever that it might be. Kyle, have you ever had anybody tell you, well, I can go down the road or I can find another coach and get it for cheaper? Yeah. I was like, what the hell are you doing?
That was me blowing my brains out for the visual. No, listen, it's absolutely insane to me. If you are confident and you know your product is the best in the industry and your prices are the highest, then you deserve it. That's fine.
Yep.
I hate this idea of, oh, I can go get it for cheaper. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of products out there that you can get for cheap. If you want to bargain shop your body and your health, by all means, have at it. You can get away with some cheap products in your life, but your health shouldn't be one of them. It drives me crazy.
It's less expensive to be healthy than it is to be sick.
Mm-hmm.
I have said that to people before, and it's like, if you want to go find somebody that's a little cheaper, I was like, that's fine with me. I would say that I'm probably one of the most expensive coaches in my area, maybe in Connecticut, except like down in Stamford, Greenwich area, things like that, like a little bit northern Connecticut. It's $109 an hour to train with me. I think that's cheap. I should be charging $199.
It is
cheap. Mm-hmm. So with you telling me I can go find it cheaper, great. Go find it cheaper. You're not going to find anybody better than me, though. Nope. So if you would rather trade price for results, go for it.
Actually, while we're on that topic, I had a client that I worked with for about 6 months. Their best friend joined like a $10 a month gym. It was in Eastporta, like the new LA Fitness is there. Mm-hmm. $10 a month gym. So it's a fine gym. Nothing wrong with those gyms. So just whatever.
I've worked out there.
The trainers there get paid $25 an hour. $25 a session. I think their sessions are 45 minutes or 30, like something shorter. So my client heard about this from a friend. They got like 100 sessions for like, a couple $1,000s and bought a whole year of training. That's only 2 to 3 months with me. And I said, okay, I understand what, but you just came to me because you had a bad car accident, your spine's fused, you have a bum knee, and you're going in for a hip replacement in the next few years. Do you think the $25 trainer at LA Fitness is the right person for you? And of course, she went with, well, I can't afford it otherwise, and that's just what I'm going to do. And that's fine.
Cool.
Guess who came back 18 months later?
That's awesome. Sure did. I mean, sucks for that person that went through a bad situation.
Oh, don't worry. This is only the first part of the story, Dave.
Oh, okay. All right.
It gets better. So
keep going. I'll shut up.
She came back right away, do an assessment. We do a squat, a little air squat, sit to stand, screams about her knee. I go, wow, knee's been a lot worse, but you've been active for 18 months. She goes, yeah. I go, so what was your other trainer doing? Oh, we just avoided the things that hurt. So in 18 months, she didn't do a sit to stand. So when she goes to the bathroom, it hurts her knee. 18 months of doing leg extensions and hamstring curls on the like a leg press, half rep leg press. And some of those things now, we've developed more pain, more problems, more dysfunction. She's literally screaming when we're trying to do workouts. I'm going to send her back to a PT. Forward 90 days, I am no longer with her. And it's not necessarily her fault, but what she did is she went cheaper. She put herself in a position where she got 10 times worse than if she didn't have a trainer at all and just walked. Now I'm sending her out to some PT friends, some orthopedists. She's referred out, and I have her with a whole different bunch of professionals because there is no way that she's coming back in my book because I'm not responsible for this person anymore.
Right.
And there's nothing I can do for her.
Yeah. That's hard, but there are real stories like that where people go off to somebody else. I hear it all the time at my gym. We are definitely the most expensive gym in the area that we're in. And well, I can go down the road and get it cheaper. I don't try to overcome that. I really don't. Go have a mediocre experience down the road. You'll never find anything better than my team, better than me as a coach, better than me as a leader. Like you're not going to find it because I take pride in what I do and I want to be the best. And the best is usually the most expensive. And I'm okay with that.
Show me a $1 menu cheeseburger that tastes better than a $20 cheeseburger.
That's right.
I'll wait.
That's right. I am the Ferrari of fitness leaders and personal trainers. So I'm okay with that.
You guys want to drive beaters with a flat tire down the highway across country, or do you want to get a new car?
Exactly.
You can spend $5, $6, $7 grand, or you can buy the $700 beater.
Let
me know what the beater is going to get you halfway across the country broken down, and then you're going to be actually worse position than when you started, or you can get to your destination.
Which option works best for you? Exactly. All right. So we're going to wrap this one up. For anybody that's listening out there, if you want to comment to us some things that you hear, and we'll comment back to you about, stuff that drives you crazy. We'll try to help you and coach you through how to make it a little bit better and easier conversation with your clients. But that'll do it for us today. We appreciate everybody listening for us doing a little bit of complaining today, but it was really fun to get some stuff off of our chests. Right, Kyle?
42 minutes of what shit trainers here.
That's right, baby. All right. See you later, everybody.
Peace.